Ever watched a judo match? Maybe the referee suddenly stops the action, and you're just sitting there wondering, wait, why did they just score that point? Or maybe, didn't that look exactly like the last throw? Well, let's dive into this explainer and unravel the mysteries of judo scoring, turning you from a confused spectator into a completely savvy commentator. Judo is this rapid-fire, deeply tactical sport. It's really not just about brute strength, it's about maximum efficiency and total control. So today, we're going to decode the secret language of the referees, the scoreboards, and the rulebooks, so you can truly appreciate the absolute art happening on the tatami mat. Here is our game plan for today. We'll start with the ultimate goal, move into the Waza-ari equation, and decode the scoreboard. Then we'll cover mastering mat work, the penalty hierarchy, and finish up with the evolution of the rules. All right, Section 1, the ultimate goal, Ippon. Everything in judo fundamentally revolves around the pursuit of this one perfect score. Think of an Ippon as judo's equivalent of a walk-off home run. It represents absolute maximum efficiency. The exact moment it happens, the match is instantly over and won. It is the ultimate display of dominance and technique. But how do you actually get it? Well, for a throw to achieve this ultimate status, the referee is mentally checking off 4 strict criteria in a split second as the athlete hits the mat. Was it executed with high speed? Was there considerable force? Did the opponent land substantially on their back? And was there skillful control until the very end of the landing? If all 4 are a yes, that is perfection. And when you see the referee's arm point straight up to the sky, that's your signal. The moment that arm goes up, the contest is officially over. Moving right along to Section 2, the Waza-ari equation. Because let's be real, what happens when an athlete attempts a brilliant throw but falls just slightly short of that total perfection? While a flawless throw earns an Ippon, a Waza-ari is a half point. It's awarded for a near-perfect technique that misses just one element. For example, maybe the opponent lands on their side or upper shoulder instead of flat on their back. It's almost there, but not quite. But judo rewards persistence with a truly beautiful mathematical rule, Waza-ari awasete Ippon. If you score 2 Waza-ari in a single match, they combine to form an Ippon, immediately winning you the fight. It essentially says that 2 near-perfect techniques are totally worth a flawless victory. The referee extending their arm straight out to the side at shoulder height is the signal to watch for here. It lets everyone in the arena know a crucial half point has just been secured. And in a tight, grueling match, this single gesture can completely flip an athlete's strategy from offensive to defensive. Okay, Section 3, decoding the scoreboard. Let's see how these points actually build up when you look at the screen hovering over the tatami. On a classic scoreboard layout, you always read the columns from highest value to lowest. I for Ippon, W for Waza-ari, Y for Yuko, and K for Koka. It's a very strict hierarchy of scoring. Let's talk about Yuko for a second. Yuko represents a lower-tier score for minor landings. Now, the absolute key takeaway here is that, unlike Waza-ari, multiple Yukos can never combine to create a higher-value score. It's primarily used to break ties at the end of a match. And interestingly, as of 2025, the International Judo Federation actually reintroduced this score to reward highly nuanced technique. All right, on to Section 4, mastering mat work. Because judo absolutely isn't just about spectacular standing throws. Matches very often transition to niwaza, or mat work, where scoring requires unbelievable endurance and positional dominance. When an athlete establishes a rock-solid controlled pin with their opponent's back flat on the mat, the referee points down and yells osekomi. The moment that happens, an invisible, highly stressful timer begins. The math of mat work is literally a race against the clock. Hold your opponent down for a grueling 20 seconds, and you achieve an Ippon. Win. If you can only hold them for 10 to 19 seconds, you get a Waza-ari. Less than 10 seconds? Absolutely no score. You're fighting the clock while trying to hold down a completely uncooperative, struggling opponent. But remember, the person on the bottom isn't just taking it. If the pinned athlete manages to trap a leg or scramble out before the timer finishes, the referee waves her hand and calls toketa, breaking the pin and immediately stopping the clock. Now for Section 5, the penalty hierarchy. In judo, scoring isn't just about attacking. It's also about aggressively enforcing the rules to prevent stalling, passivity, and dangerous techniques. The penalty system operates on a very strict escalation. Minor tactical faults, like stepping out of bounds or gripping defensively, earn you a Shido warning. But if you accumulate 3 of these Shidos in a single match, you suffer a Hansoku Make. That instantly disqualifies you. It's literally designed to keep the action moving and keep the athletes totally honest. And this rolling hand gesture, you are going to see it frequently from the referees. It penalizes non-combativity. Judo rules demand active combat. If you assume a strongly defensive position for more than 5 seconds without attacking, you get penalized. It forces athletes to actively engage rather than just passively burning the clock. Finally, Section 6, Evolution of the Rules. Look, if you've watched Judo over the years and occasionally felt super confused by the scoring, you aren't crazy. The sport is constantly evolving. The International Judo Federation frequently tweaks the rules to maintain an exciting, highly dynamic sport. For instance, pin times used to require 25 seconds for an Ippon, but they dropped that down to 20 to speed up ground transitions. The lowest score, Koka, was completely eliminated. And the Yuko score? It was removed back in 2017, only to be brought back in 2025 to better evaluate those partial successes. Because of this constant evolution, here is a really practical tip for both beginners and competitors. Always make sure to double-check with the most current official judo bodies and IJF rulebooks for the latest updates. The core philosophy of judo remains the same, but those granular details, they can always shift. So, you are now officially equipped with the tools of a judo detective. You know the Ippons, the Waza-aris, the incredibly tense pins, and the strict penalties. Are you ready to stop just watching and start truly seeing the brilliant tactical depth of the sport? Now that you know the secret language of the tatami, what hidden tactical masterpieces will you spot in the very next match you watch?